You know, everyone gets stuck at some point or another. You're not alone in this, and more importantly, it's normal. So this morning we discuss what to do when your friends and family are kind of stuck a bit. We use the word stagnant, but I think stagnant means you're stuck so long that that's more than stuck. So we
So
say
this is when your friends and family are stagnant and not when you yourself feel stagnant.
apparently.
Okay.
All right. We start by, I guess this is what you tell them
Yes.
when they are. So you tell them they're not alone. Yeah. And more importantly, it's normal that they'll come across, even though all of them come from different walks of life, this is someone giving her experience of different ages and have never crossed paths. Her clients actually face the same predicament. So realizing you're not alone will make it much easier to deal with this period. By trying to fight it, you're only fighting yourself. Accept it, acknowledge it, tell yourself it's okay. That way you can then focus on the constructive steps that will really help you. My thing is, accept the situation. I think you have to be careful just how much you accept it, because you might accept it and it kind of
Leaves you at that stagnated place.
yes, like you think, okay, I'm not alone, it happens, so I don't need to move. If I don't move, it's okay.
I think this is more like giving yourself grace in that moment to say, it's okay that I feel this way now.
Right.
Not that you're going to stay there, but sometimes you just have to give yourself some grace and say, so right now, I feel like I can manage this, I feel like I move, I feel like I'm really depend on this, and give yourself a timeout, but also you got to start again.
Yeah, so I would say appreciate the situation.
Yes.
But accept is a little tricky word for me, because accept means like you said,
Acknowledge it and tell yourself it's okay to feel that way in that moment. But as Harry said, you can pause because you're weary, but you can't stop.
Yeah.
You can't park.
Yeah.
Right? Slow down, but don't park. Find what inspires you. So stagnation, this says, comes because there isn't anything that excites you enough to take action. If you don't have habits of setting goals and instead you just leave yourself to daily mundanes, it's not surprising if you're experiencing stagnation. So some questions that, you should ask: what do you want to do, or what would you want to do if there were no limitations? If you can have whatever you want, what would that be? And the answers to that question, or those questions, can provide you with the fuel that you need to move forward. It says, on the other hand, even if you are an experienced goal setter, there are times when the goals you set in the past lose their appeal now. That's true. That's normal, and it happens to everybody. Sometimes we lose touch with our goals since we're in different emotional states compared to when we first set them. So I think all we have to do is look back at what those are and realign and reprioritize and go again.
Finding what inspires you is important, because I find that if it's something that inspires you, even when you come upon challenges, you try to find a way to figure it out. And if things get hard, you don't allow it to stop you, because you're fueled by, this is what I want to do and this is what I have to do. But if you don't have that fuel, then the first thing that happens, you're going to say, well, I did try.
Well, the truth is that
it never work.
I think it was Trisha Spencer saw post something one day that discipline is freedom, right? Because discipline is that thing that's going to get you over the finish line, even when you don't. You could love it to the ground. There are some days when you get up, you just don't feel motivated, right?
Correct.
But discipline is that thing, even more than motivation, that's going to, on those days when you just do not feel like it, that's going to keep you going and help you to keep achieving those goals.
Yeah.
So discipline is really freedom.
Yeah.
Discipline is freedom. Thank you, Sparky Baby, for tweeting that. Stayed with me.
Give yourself a break. Important. When's the last time you took a real break for yourself? 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? Never.
2 years, 6 years?
Perhaps it's time to take a time out. Prolonged working can cause someone to become disillusioned as they lose sight of who they are and what they want. You can't just work, and then you say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or let me try that, or let me... And at the end of it, you don't even remember why you started out in the first place and what it is you're hoping to achieve. So you're just moving along.
Real thing.
Yeah, take some extended leave from work. A few days at bare minimum. A few weeks or months will be great. But if you have your bills to pay, follow me and Simone.
Correct.
We can stick to a few weeks. Go on a trip. Get away from your work and your life. Use this chance to get a renewed perspective. Think about your life's purpose, what you want, and what you want to create for your life in the future. Somehow we take time off and we're still at home in the same situation, same spaces, same environment. So might as well with it, just never bother take it. And some people take vacation and they spend the time, and that's okay. It's fun, and relaxing. I'm enjoying myself, but it's a good time to reflect as well. When vacation done, where am I going now? What's going to happen now?
Good time for introspection.
Or may I tell you, the last day of vacation is going to be the worst day. Because you're going to say, Lord,
tomorrow I'm back in this.
Go back again to the same life. And then you go back tomorrow and it's complaining all over again. My life not going nowhere.
We can't be in the same situation over and over and over again.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to hit your head against the wall and you're not going to be surprised that it hurt. Because that's what happens if you keep, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It's not going to work. Shake up your routines. Being in the same environment, doing the same things over and over again, meeting the same people can make us stagnant.
Yep.
This is especially if the people you spend the most time with are stagnant themselves.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is a Bible verse or something? Some of us are hanging out with people who are going nowhere very quickly.
And don't want you to go anywhere
And if you
either.
tell them you're going somewhere, they might say, why you bother act up yourself, do all of that? No. Those are not the friends you want to keep. Change things around. Start with simple things like a different route to work, something different for breakfast, lunch with different colleagues you probably never talked much with. Cultivate different habits like exercising every day, listening to a new series of podcasts in the morning, reading a book, something different, something fresh, change it up just a little bit. And then the most important one, I think, which is just to start.
Yeah. One small step. Stagnation also comes from being frozen in fear. Maybe you do want this goal, but you're not taking action. Are you overwhelmed by the amount of work needed? Are you afraid you will make mistakes? Is the perfectionist in you taking over and paralyzing you? Let go. I tell people this all the time. Let go of the belief that it has to be perfect.
Done is better than perfect.
I hear people, they want to do content and they want to do things, but them say, it don't look like Hollywood. And, I need a $100 million budget because I know what we need, but we not have it. But if we keep making the small budget things, but making them interesting, using them to work the way we need them to work, eventually just start. Just start.
She's right.
I was at the Creative Writing Awards on the weekend. Roland Watson Grant was the guest speaker. It was so awesome. And one of the things he was saying, is 8 years ago, he would have probably been at the same event and people would have looked at his work and said, this not so. And Roland is now a celebrated novelist around the globe.
Yes.
Screenwriter, everything.
Yes.
And I said to them, you have a portfolio of work. If you enter JCDC Creative Writing, now you have a portfolio, you have comments from judges. You couldn't probably pay an editor to edit your work. You got comments from judges free. You can now fix it up, put it in a portfolio, and go look some work. But if you just sit down at home and say, I want to write, but I can't afford one editor. And get up and do it, man.
Start.
on
There's
you.
a quote that stays with me. It says, a year ago, you would have wished you started today. Or a year from now, you're going to wish you started today. So just start. Just start. All right? Okay, that's it for Girl Talk. Coming up next, we'll hear all about Scotiabank's Select and Pay. We'll be right back with that.